One of the coolest things about the past week of playoff games has been the return of real, honest-to-goodness crowds in the stands. It has meant a tremendous amount to the players who said the juice in some of these buildings has been off the charts. And it's meant a tremendous amount to so many fans themselves who are finally getting to feel normal again, to have a place to go, to yell and scream and just be with other people. And yet, despite how special it all feels, despite how freshly aware we all are now of how quickly the whole thing can get taken away, the return of full stands has also meant the return of what had been a disturbing trend pre-COVID. Fans verbally and even physically assaulting the players they're supposedly there to watch. Back in 2019, the season before the whole world fell apart, The Athletic reported that the NBA had banned 5 times as many fans from arenas as it had the season before. And now that the world is slowly putting itself back together, here we are again. There were 3 NBA games last night, and 2 of them had fan incidents in New York. Not only did the crowd shower Trae Young with expletives from the moment he stepped on the court for warm-ups, these leaflets were also handed out around the building instructing fans to make fun of Young's hair. Then in the fourth quarter, a fan actually spits on Young, which Young reacted to later on Twitter, calling the incident crazy. Meanwhile, over in Philadelphia, you had Russell Westbrook leaving the court due to an injury. And instead of, God forbid, showing any compassion, a man in the crowd dumped a box of popcorn on his head. Westbrook had to be restrained from going after him by numerous security and team personnel types. And while the fan was identified and ejected from the game, Russ was adamant afterward that more needed to be done.
To be honest, man, it's not a hand, especially for me. Just the amount of disrespect, the amount of just fans just doing whatever they want to do. It's not a problem. But there's certain things that cross the line. And any other setting, I know for a fact that fans, they want to come up. A guy went on the street and pour popcorn on my head. Because you know what happened. A guy want to come up to me, talking about my kids, family on the street, because the response will be different. So to get food thrown on top of me, it's just been, to me, it happens to me a lot of times. And obviously I've learned to kind of look the other way, but to a certain extent, you can't just keep looking the other way. There has to be some penalties or something to put in place where fans can't just come to the games and do and say as they please.
Strong stuff there. And yes, Westbrook has indeed, in particular, been a repeated target of bad behavior. 4 years ago, also in Philadelphia, a fan sitting courtside was ejected for directing a stream of profane words and gestures at Russ. 3 years ago, Russ got into it with a Jazz fan, slapping away the phone. The fan thrust in Westbrook's face. And 2 years ago, another Utah fan was tossed for getting into a verbal altercation with Westbrook while he was sitting on the Thunder bench. Still, this is hardly just about Russ. We have heard from dozens of players that they have faced a sharp uptick in fans believing that buying a ticket gives them the right to do and say anything toward the players they are supposedly there to see. The problem has gotten bad enough that this morning the NBA released a statement noting how respect for the game is, quote, critical, and said that an enhanced fan code of conduct will be vigorously enforced in order to ensure a safe and respectful environment for all involved. We will find out what vigorously enforced actually means in the weeks ahead, although we're starting to get a hint. The Knicks announced this afternoon that the fan who spit on Trae has been, quote, indefinitely banned from Madison Square Garden, and the Sixers have said the same about the fan who dumped the popcorn on Russ being banned indefinitely from their arena. Will the threat of that be enough to make other fans behave better? Personally, I had hoped that after a year without getting to go to sporting events, fans would just, appreciate how fortunate we all are to be back and have such an essential part return to the game we love. And surely a big chunk of them are. But clearly, there do need to be harsh penalties toward the fans who keep crossing the line, because this has gone way beyond classless. It has gotten nasty and dangerous, and players should not have to put up with it anymore. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.